Good day, everybody. We are back again. We are back the 14th of June. We know that tomorrow we have a big one, big one on the local soccer calendar. Amatax, which is University of Pretoria, will be playing Marumo Swallows. Any team that wins there qualifies to go to the Premier League. But if Amatax get a draw, they are done and dusted, all right? So Swallows have to link their wounds and try again. Welcome, Sheiks. Welcome to the show. Will you kindly greet the viewers?
Good day to the viewers and thanks for having me, Prasoz.
Yes, Sheiks. We are playing, Amatax are playing Marumo Swallows. All right? And Amatax wants to come back to the professional league. Marumo Swallows, you know what? People like Banyaza and all that, they've been fighting to revive this team, to bring it to their back, their old glory days. So I'm sure they will also fight tooth and nail that they gain the promotion to the Premier League. You know it as much as I know. Being in the Premier League also bring its own profile in terms of your brand being profiled well. Not only that, financial muscles. So it's a good thing for a team to play in the Premier League. Now, I didn't say, my name is the Sobri Boy, Swale Fatsi, doing the show called TBR Solutions Sports Forum. Sheiks, what's your take if you apply your crystal ball eye to this coming game?
Yeah, Prasoz, we've seen the playoffs. We've seen how tough it is. You know, there's only one spot for the PSL, and there's 3 teams. You know, Cape Town All Stars automatically are out of the race now, having not won one game. And we saw Swallows. Cape Town All Stars beat Swallows. But the race is between Marumo Swallows and Tugs, and they face each other tomorrow. It's going to be a tough one, Prasoz. You know, Tugs have done well in the NFD to get that second position behind Richards Bay, and yeah, now it's left for them to just get at least a draw to make it through to the PSL. And obviously Swallows also want to stay in the PSL. Like you said, Prasoz, there's big incentive with the teams in the PSL, you know, in terms of the brand, in terms of the money, which is very important, you know, to keep the players within the team. So it's really going to be a do or die type of game tomorrow, you know, for Marumo Swallows and the players. You know, this is the worst time, you know, as a professional soccer player, because you're fighting for your bread, you are fighting for your life. You know, if the team loses tomorrow, chances are half of that team, the players will not have a job, you know, so they are fighting for their lives. Everybody's fighting for their lives. It's going to be really tough tomorrow, and good luck to both teams, you know.
I don't know, you know, what's your take, but I think Amatax is one of those teams that have produced one of the good players. One is your friend, probably you played with him, Tshepang. So we want to see that coming up. Yeah, I don't know. They've produced a number of good players in the past. So it would be nice to see them coming back, because I think that gives whoever is playing at the lower league of the team to have hope that finally they will play in the Premier League, and then they will showcase their talent. And of course, your nephew at Marumo Swallows, I'm sure, is crossing fingers that let Swallows qualify, so that at least his chances of playing the Premier League is slowly going to become a reality. Sheiks, what's your take?
Yeah, Prasad, as
After
you
you
said,
can give it to Tshepang. Tshepang will welcome you. Then you can talk, the two of you, and then let's hear what Sheikh says. Sheikhs, can go ahead.
yeah, Prasad, like you said, you know, Tuks have brought in a very entertaining youngsters, you know, especially for Sundowns. When I was at Sundowns, like you said, the Rato Shabangu, your Robin Johannes, you know, are products of Tuks. Your likes of Bongani Zungu are also from Tuks, you know, so they produced all those players. So yes, them coming back into the PSL will probably also do the same thing. We'll see other youngsters introduced. You know, there's one quality youngster that I saw play for Tuks, and it will be good exposure for him if he can come to the PSL. You know, so that would be good for them. And as for Swallows, you know, we were crossing fingers for them the last game, watching it with my nephew, you know, because it's also his opportunity. He's been training with the first team, and you know, if the team survives, then he gets that opportunity to play for the first team. So yes, you know, I won't lie, I'm crossing my fingers for Swallows to win this one, you know, for his sake, because we have to start all over and find a team again if Swallows don't make it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that, Morocco Swallows, I would say Swallows know what they have to do. It's a game which they cannot afford to miss out on, and they need to get the maximum points when it comes to that game. It's a final tomorrow which they are playing, and it will be a huge blow and a huge upset if they go back into the Atlanta Africa Championship again, just after 2 seasons being back in the DStv Premiership. But I could say that they brought this amongst themselves, but a lot was going on in the team, you know. Also that they had a difficult season, but it's up to them to actually bring themselves up and actually get the maximum points which they want, you know, and in order to stay in the DStv Premiership, all they need to do is just win the game, and then they are safe. And it will be very unfortunate to see all those that are playing at Swallows FC to be going back into the Atlanta Africa Championship, you know, because I believe the youngsters that are there at that team are the ones that made Swallows to actually stay afloat and be where they are right now. You know, there's a lot of youngsters there, and they're actually doing quite well. And more youngsters as well will be introduced. We can see that. I think they're building around youngsters. Yes, experienced players are there, but there's a lot of youngsters within the team. So would like to see more of that. But when it comes to Tuks as well, they're a young team, which, you know, we all know that they produce a lot of quality young players as well. They've been out also maybe close to 3 seasons now, and out of the DStv Premiership. And for them being back, it will also be good, you know, seeing them back in the Premiership as well. But we don't want our Swallows to actually go down the drain as well. So it's kind of difficult. It's a 50-50 situation. Both teams, I guess, they are close to everyone, you know, because of they've got a lot of history behind them. But we'll see what happens tomorrow at the final.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen. Like you say, maybe as much as we love both teams, but we are leaning towards, I'm leaning towards Swallows for one simple reason, for Panyaza, Brakit, and then, yes, Sheikh's is a nephew. Yeah, we are leaning towards them. Although anyone can take it, you can't say Amatax haven't done anything. Sheikhs has just given us all good players that were produced by Amatax, you know, and then so it'd be nice to see anyone coming. We know that there is a rumor, I don't know, it's a rumor, that Swallows experienced this problem because it's like they were undergoing some financial difficulties. Although that did not find its way, it was just a rumor. I think part, they said some of the players were not paid for 2 months. So that really destabilized the team. So Tshepang is correct that by saying, let them sort things up. I know that at some point people argue and say they need to get a sponsor. Yes, a sponsor is important, but also sponsor wants stability. Sponsor wants winning. They want people who are winning. So that's very, very important. Yeah, that is part of the rumor. I don't know, do you want to say something or what, guys, on what I've just dropped?
Yeah, Pastor, it's true, you know, Swallows experienced the fair share of problems this season, you know. The first indications of that, you know, like Tshepang was saying, there's a lot of good youngsters, a good blend of youngsters at Swallows who brought the team back, you know, but it's very important to have the core of the team, the experience, you know, the likes of Vuyomire, the likes of Matlaba, the likes of Cheese Boy. I think those guys, they also did well in the dressing room for the team. You need players like that. You need experience. I mean, you could see even with Bafana this week, you know, they played so well, but the experience, you can't replace the experience. You need it, you know, in those dying minutes to make the right decisions, you know, for the team. You know, the team is leading 1-0. So you need that experience all the time. And Swallows, I think that's where the downfall came, you know, when the likes of Abu Vuyomire, they left the team because of all the problems that they were having, you know, the senior players who left the team. I think that destabilized the team a lot. And yeah, let's hope they can make it through this final hurdle. Cheese Boy is there, he's leading the boys, and we just cross fingers for them that they can do it tomorrow.
Well, Tshepang, what's your take about that?
Yeah, no, it's true. I agree with Mr. Shakes also on that part. I mean, it comes to experience as well. Most core players of the team left the team, actually. The players that were keeping the club afloat last season, which the club did well last season. Swallows ended is it fourth or fifth in the season last season, in the Premier League, you know, last season. But now, half of that squad, I could say, well, majority, I could say, is not there anymore. And those are the core figures of the team, which is a lot of experience, which is gone now. So only the youngsters are there, which is a good thing. That's why I say. That's what I said, that they're building around the youngsters. It's a good thing, but experience needs to be there as well, you know, to just make sure that the team is stabilized, which they don't have at the moment, you know. We saw when they started losing players, things started going south with the team. So, yeah, that's playing a huge part in that, but we don't know. We'll see what will unfold as from tomorrow.
Now, guys, I'm sure you saw, we move on now. You saw that Kaizer Chiefs is making a statement. Kaizer Jr. came out at some point, said, we are going to compete. We'll go pounds for pounds. We are going to spend the money. I was very much impressed for him to say that unequivocally, you know, without any contradiction. I'm sure you have seen now that they are signing. You know, for me, that was very good for them to once and for all rest the issue of the coach. All right, because that brings stability. And then if you ask me, Swallows, I think those were part of the contributing factor. Truter came with them. Of course, he was giving them draws. All right. But for me, had Truter stayed, they wouldn't have been relegated. I remember Jomo would say, if you want to win the game, shut the back door. All right. And the departure of Matlaba, the departure of Vuyomere destabilized the team. And like you said, Shakes, experience is key. Now, I saw Kaizer Chiefs coming up very early. Here is a coach, here is an assistant. Very early, Kaizer Chiefs. These are the players that we are selling. And then, I don't know. And then we haven't heard anything from Orlando Pirates, who's going to be the coach. Mamelodi Sundowns, we know there's stability there. We know who's going to be a coach. Instead, Mamelodi Sundowns, they bought players even before the window periods started, So what's your take? I want your comments as far as that is concerned. What have you heard so far? Who's doing what Chiefs is doing, what Pirates is doing? Yeah, okay, anyone can talk, and then you can talk between the two, all right? Shakes, you want to start first?
Yeah, Prasobs, just on Chiefs, on Kaizer Chiefs, I've honestly been disappointed with Kaizer Chiefs because it's a big brand, throughout the years. But now Kaizer Junior is doing things there. We can see that Kaizer Chiefs mean business, and also concur, the signing of Atazwane, making it clear, that they mean business, and Arthur's been there. He knows the culture of the team. And for me, I believe he's the right person together with Dylan Shepherd, people who played the game in the PSL, who know the PSL, who know the players, So I'm under the impression that Chiefs really mean business this season with Kaizer Junior. We've seen them, they're making an offer for, I'm not sure whether it's a done deal with Mart, but a quality youngster who's in the national team. We saw him against Bafana, that the boy's got a lot to offer as a quality player. So it's really interesting to see how he will fit in at Kaizer Chiefs together with your likes of Billiard and Keegan Dolly, So I really believe Chiefs is going to compete this season. They've also tabled an offer for Mashiko from Cape Town City. So really, it looks like it's going to be an interesting season next season with big teams like Kaizer Chiefs showing that they also mean business. They also want to compete within the PSL. Tshepang?
I'm sure he's got that issue of Tshepang.
Yes, I'm back now.
Yeah, I said Shakes will talk and then he'll pass it to you. Can you come in?
Yes, I'm back now.
Yeah, come in. Did you hear what we were talking about? We're talking about the stability that we see at Kaizer Chiefs, as Shakes said. It was a bit disappointing for years, but now Kaizer Junior is coming strongly to say, I'm there. This is what should happen at this team. So not only Kaizer Chiefs, I also want you guys to talk about Orlando Pirates. What's happening there, We know that coach has not been appointed. Swallows, and then they're still using, I don't know whether they're continuing with the current coach or what is happening, not only Swallows, all the teams. We saw that Marumo Gallants parting ways with the Dance Malisela. What's your input as far as that is concerned? A good move or what? What do you think? Not only Marumo Gallants, Sikukune, coaches have been shifted. Owen Dagama joined not even 6 months. He has left. I want you to talk about all what is happening now during this time and how do you see the future? Not only Chiefs and Pirates should be entertained. Stellenbosch, very relaxed, did well. They don't talk about changing coaches. They have sold players, and I'm sure it was a business for them. And then remember, Stellenbosch have a very strong development site, all right? And then, so Amazul, what's happening? We saw that a lot of players were put on sale. Not only that, and then have Amazulu appointed a permanent coach. Those are things that I want you guys to touch on. Golden Arrows, what's happening there? Golden Arrows, are we going to see a different Golden Arrows this year? Any stability? Yeah, touch on those subjects. You can exchange between the two of you. All right? You get it?
Yeah. For me, I'll just summarize everything that you just said because of we can see what all the teams are doing. We've been following them in the chop and changings, the release of players coaches as well. Being coaches parting with their teams, and just changing their teams and everything, you know. So I just want to say that, remember, I did say this a couple of weeks ago, that teams are starting to see what Sundowns is doing, and teams, I think, are following the footsteps of Mamelodi Sundowns, which they are fighting for stability. They want stability within the teams, and I think they're taking the approach which Sundowns is doing, which by just making a mark and just taking authority within the team, players as well, and the technical team. So I think teams are following that footstep. Those footsteps, I mean, we can see even the likes of the technical teams keep on changing, players being released. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I actually promote what these teams are doing. I think they're not taking any nonsense anymore. Players are just being cleared out, and teams just want to start from scratch, and which is something which they are doing right now. They're starting from scratch. They want to build on the right way, in the right way, and having the right platform as well, which is a good thing. And I think they just want to bring some form of stability and see where they're headed, instead of just chopping and changing and just signing players for the sake of signing, or signing coaches for the sake of signing as well. So I think this is an approach which all teams are taking. Just to summarize everything, which is a good thing, it's a positive. You know, most players, even we could see that even last season and the season before, a lot of players, in terms of behavior-wise, how their attitude towards the game, they've been disrespecting the game, not taking their jobs very lightly, which is why some players are being released at their respective clubs. Clubs have had enough, giving the players a lot of chances, but it seems like they're not taking their job seriously, and for them to part ways with the players as well. So that's something that's been happening. That's why clubs are just clearing players out and trying to introduce new, fresh talent as well, and just in order to breathe life into the teams. So this is what's happening. But yeah, stability, it's what's important with all of these clubs. And I feel like it's all what these clubs need, which is a positive. I see it as a positive. It's a good thing. The clubs are taking this route, actually, And the clubs keeping players who don't benefit them in any way for a number of years, but they're not getting anything out of the players. But that's what I'm saying. Just to close it up, clubs are seeing what Sundowns is doing, and they are following those footsteps. Clubs want to compete. Clubs want to also dominate, and just not let Sundowns dominate the Premiership. The DStv Premiership. I think this is something which they saw, that no, it's about time that they also start competing and being on the level and standard of Mamelodi Sundowns, and just making the league interesting.
What about Chippa United? What's your take about that?
Yeah, I mean, with Chippa United, well, we kept on saying that the chairman, I don't know. Sometimes I think we just need to leave it to the professionals, people who know a lot about football, people who know how to run a team. Just hand it over to someone, let them take charge while you be behind the scenes and just watch everything, because of his approach. It's been happening for years, and Chippa has always been lucky, but their approach each and every season hasn't changed and hasn't improved, which is a worrying factor. They always find themselves in a similar position, always in the league. They're always in a similar position. Um, um, I don't know, changing how many coaches in a season. We know that they're capable of doing that. That's what we know about them. Nothing has changed regarding them. I don't know what will change coming into this new season, or what are their intentions, or what is it that they want to do. We don't know, but the only way to find out is when the season starts. So with them as well, I'm not happy regarding how the team is being ran, the structure as a whole. I'm disappointed in that. I'm not happy with that. They don't have a structure or system at all. I think everyone can see that. I think if they can fix those two departments, their system and their structure, I think everything will come into place and will fall into place, and things will change.
How about what you call Cape Town City. Cape Town City have done well. This is the best position that they could ever attain. And not only that, you know, remember the John committees, they formed this team not long ago, which is something that needs to be commended. I'm sure we need to talk about that. Eric Chandler is also proving to be one of the good coaches, very underrated. Yes, I know he has been at Pirates for some time. You know, Pirates and Chiefs, the demand is too huge. So probably it was difficult for him, you know, to be himself there. So what do you want to say about that? So I want you to say something about Cape Town City, which according to my books, they've done well.
Yeah, they've done well. This season, he has shown us that give the players what they want, give the coach what he wants, and this is what you get, which is what they got this season. They managed to get the results. Yes, a chairman who is very highly involved in his team, wants the best out of his team, but also allowed Eric Tinkler to express himself at his second spell at the team, coming through again and just expressing himself and hearing out what is it that the coach wants to do and what to achieve, and which they managed to do that. The team was very responsive of what Eric Tinkler wanted from them, and which they did, and they managed to get the results and the job done. They're doing well. I love the structure of Cape Town City, to be honest. When it was formed, it came in with a lot of energy and fire, which they still have even now. They're doing very well. The support there, it's unbelievable, and they just want the best for the team and Cape Town as a whole. So they're doing well. It's just a matter of if they would introduce quality players as well, they get good players, they'll do actually well as well. You know, players that can complement Eric Tinkler's style and the system that he wants to play, that team could actually go far. They did well now, you know. They'll be playing in the CAF Champions League as well. They'll be competing there. So, I mean, what more could they actually ask for? They actually did well this season.
Yeah, Shakes. I don't know whether you want to talk to us about Amazon. What do you think? Where are the problems? I know Mr. Zungu is your friend. What do you think? I know you may have a soft spot for them. Moreover, that originally are from KZN. Well, what do you think? What do you think?
Sorry, Brasobs, I was cut off though.
No problem. Don't worry. Don't worry. These are some of the challenges we encounter from time to time. I'm saying, you know, we are looking at all teams. We want to see what are they doing now. Amazulu, they couldn't make top 8. Remember that was his wish, Mr. Zungu. What do you think? What could be the problem?
Yeah, Prasobs, you know, Mr. Zungu, also, I think it was a new business venture for him to get a football club, you know, and he came in, it was exciting, you know, he brought in Benny McCarthy to the fore, and we saw Amazulu reach limits that they've never reached before. So he did well for the Amazulu in Durban, you know, for the supporters there. He brought hope back, you know, even making it to the Champions League, you know, it's something never seen before by Amazulu. So the takeover from Zungu was good for football, you know, and it was exciting to see, you know, but we've seen that now there've been a lot of problems, you know, with the coach leaving, Benny McCarthy leaving, and the new coach coming in, you know, and we've seen an overhaul of a lot of players, you know. Some of them were regulars in the team last season, but they've been transfer listed, you know, a wholesale of players. So, yeah, I mean, it shows that there are problems within the team, but we've also seen new signings, the likes of Zuma. So not all is lost. We've seen Zuma signing with Amazulu. Hopefully the boy has learned his lesson, you know, and he's got his head right, and maybe the atmosphere, different atmosphere going to Durban is something that can help the young boy in terms of his discipline, you know. And I'd just also like to commend Chiefs for the way they dealt with the issue of Zuma. They didn't, you know, put it all out there in the newspapers. They tried to help him, and the boy, you know, made mistakes again. But you know, playing for a big brand like Kaizer Chiefs, you only get as many chances. So AmaZulu are taking a chance on the boy. The boy is a quality player. Only if he can focus on his football, you know, he can do things for AmaZulu. So it remains to be seen how AmaZulu will fare this season, you know, with the new coach as well and the new players.
There are rumors that they were also facing some financial difficulty. We don't know how true is that. Yeah, so I don't know. Tshepang, AmaZulu?
Yes, as I said, AmaZulu, yeah, there's rumors that they're saying that they face some financial difficulties, you know, but you'll never know. As the president did say that he wanted to upload certain high-profile players as well, and in order to have financial balance, and he wants to start from scratch. That's what he said. But I don't really like the way he did things, his approach. I mean, most of those players were his core players. That's his core team. That's a team that made AmaZulu be where it is today in a matter of 2 seasons. So I'm very reluctant on that matter, but it's his team at the end of the day. Let's see what happens coming into the new season.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. No, it's fine. You know what? Football, it's really tough. It's not only about the money, it's also about the knowledge. It's also about leadership. All right. Remember, a leader is also he's a leader who listens. All right, a leader who wants to be advised and taken. Guys, what do you want to say about Golden Arrows? Golden Arrows, they came back. The Majalas have stabilized Golden Arrows. Remember, Golden Arrows was a yo-yo team, going up, going down, going up, going down. But now they've been on Premier League for some time now, hey? Since the time of Coach Habuzondo. They are doing exceptionally well, although when it comes to titles, they still a challenge. What do you want to say about Golden Arrows? This year, the past season, it was very, very tough for them, but they are doing absolutely well because they survive. People don't survive. Can you imagine Jomo Cosmos, one of those teams that was a big team. They're in the wilderness now. They're in ABC Mutse. So what do you want to say, guys, about that? Golden Arrows.
Yeah, I mean, Golden Arrows won a title as well. The late Richard Hanyekane was still playing for them, you know. I mean, that was the last time they managed to win I think it was the M10-8, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago. That was the last time they lifted a trophy, if I'm not mistaken. It's been quite a tricky, I could say, season for them. Well, seasons, you know, it's been a roller coaster ride, but they've managed to come back and do good. They've been doing well over the past 3 seasons, you know. They're still at it even now. I guess the leadership within the team is actually good. Is actually doing well. They're a good KZN team, you know, and they're very interesting to watch. It's always mouth-watering when you watch Golden Arrows, especially when they play home. Any big team that plays against Arrows, when they are playing away, they know that it's not going to be an easy game. They always give us a good game, a show. So yeah, they've been doing well, quite well. Also, it's a matter of finding good stability, you know, the right players as well. um the coach, in terms of coaching, I don't know. I think when it comes to coaching, we cannot say which coach is best for which team, but a coach does well with the team that he has. And if the players are able to adapt in terms of the the system of the coach or how he wants to lead the team. And if the players are able to adapt and to actually adapt quick and do what they are told, then the team will do well, which is what they are doing. They are not sinking or anything. They managed to keep afloat and do well in the DStv Premiership.
What about Maritzburg United, guys? What's your take? Shakes, tell us about Maritzburg United. What's your take? And also about Sekhukhune. What's your take? What's your take about Sekhukhune? We've seen now they've changed coaches. We don't know what's happening. So, Maritzburg United and Sekhukhune.
Yeah, no, Prasobs, I was actually about to talk about Arrows, but yeah, I will touch on Maritzburg as well.
No, you can start with Arrows. It's fine because we want to touch all teams and give them that fair chance. You can start with Arrows. Thereafter Tshepang, look at the other team. Which team can we look at? Tshepang is like he's lost. But yeah, give us Arrows. Thereafter, I want you to talk about Maritzburg and also Sekhukhune United.
Yeah, with Golden Arrows, Brasobi, it's shown in the past few years, they've always survived, they've always been there, they've always played exciting football, and you don't see them making those big signings, In fact, every season you see them, they're losing players, from way back, the likes of Mabuti Kanyeza was lost to the likes of Kaizer Chiefs from Golden Arrows, the likes of Sibisi now, who's moving to Pirates from Golden Arrows, So it's a team that always produces these quality players, and then the big teams come and take from them. But you don't see them going down. It doesn't hurt them in a way that they are fighting relegation season in, season out, So it shows you that they know what they are doing at Golden Arrows. They are producing players and they are surviving, they've got a good brand of football that they play. And you also see with the MDC team that they are always producing the youngsters that are capable of playing in the PSL. And yeah, also when it comes to Maritzburg United, they are always there, they survived this season. And it remains to be seen. Next season, I think they have to really try and beef up the team so that they are not fighting in the relegation zone, They are a team that has a big following. When you go to Maritzburg, to their home ground, you will see that the locals, they love the game and they support the team. So Maritzburg should really this season come up with a plan to make sure that they are not fighting in the relegation zone, but are fighting in the top 8.
All right, Shakes, I understand. Tshepang is lost again, so that's another issue. Maritzburg, I think they've done their best. But it's like, Maritzburg is all about survival all the time. And then I don't know whether Millie Lopez done his work, but the mere fact that he has been fired, it means he hasn't, fulfilled the mandate that was given to him. And yeah, which other team can we look at? Last year, you never spoke about Sekhukhune. Tshepang, do you want to talk about Sekhukhune?
Yeah, I mean, one team which just very disappointed about, in terms of how things went by during the season, but they've managed to stabilize themselves and actually survive in the DStv Premiership as well. I think with them, they're still finding their feet, Susun, it was their first season, but now they're going to the second season, so things are still very early, still a bit shaky, but let's just see how they start their preseason and how they start implementing what they want to do at the beginning of the second season, with them being the DStv Premiership. I'd like to see a lot of youngsters with Sekhukhune United, as well. because of I see a lot of experienced players in the team. It's a good thing, but I would like to see a lot of youngsters as well, given the opportunity to actually add value within the team as well.
What's your take about this thing that they will appoint a coach, but this guy who's always there is always there? And we hear that Owen Dagam said, no, this thing of co-coaching is not working. Don't you think that brings instability? And we know that they've appointed a coach, and what's his name? McDonald is still there. Shakes, you're a football player. What's your take about that? Do you really think this will work? Maybe they don't get the formula that is there at Sundowns, all right? Even at Sundowns, you can't say the formula is working because they're winning. Eh? The test will be when they start losing. You get my point? For now, I think it's working perfectly well. This thing of co-coaching, I don't know, it's Sundowns that is doing it, but I don't know it will work, all right? I'm happy that Chiefs was just straight and adamant. Others want a coach. We saw it at Pirates, Faju, and Ngazi. I don't know whether this thing of co-coaching is working. Owen Dagama said, it's not going to work. This is not good for him because when you make a decision, you have to consult. The McDonald guys, still there at Kukune United, they keep on appointing. What's your take? If Tshepang, you want to say something on that one, we can also come in.
Yeah, Prasobs, you know, I mean, different coaches want things done differently, you know. I understand on Owen's part, you know, going into a new team and you're finding a new coach there. Maybe Owen wants to do things his way, and the co-coach is doing things in a different way. You know, most of the time when you go into a team, you bring in your own assistant. You know, somebody you trust, because in that position you need to trust your co-coach, that you all in the same page. You know. So yeah, it's difficult, you know, with a team like Sekhukhune. You know, you can't really compare to Sundowns, a team that's established like Sundowns, you know, and those co-coaches that are there at Sundowns, the knowledge that they are having and their parts that they are playing. I think it's something that's within the team, within the structure, to say this is your job, this is your job, but. I don't really think it can work for all teams, this co-coaching.
Tshepang, what's your take? Well, I also believe what you are saying, Shakes, because I'm going throughout the world. Where are they having co-coaches?
Yeah.
Throughout the world. And I'm not saying the one of Mamelodi Sundowns is working. You know, you're working with human beings. Why Peter didn't like it?
Yeah.
Now, it's because they're winning. That would be my take. If they start losing, that's going to be a test of time. All right? I don't know. Don't know whether you agree with me.
Yeah, Prasad. What I can say is that I think at Sundowns, those three guys, they all have their role. You know, I think they all have their role they play, and they all have their strengths. You know, and their quality, which blend together, and they help each other. But yeah, like you're saying, that when the team is winning, everything you know seems to be working. But then once the team starts losing, that's when people will start saying, now maybe these three coaches are not working. But it's proven to be working at Sundowns. They've proven to be working well together. You know, so it can work depending on a certain environment, you know, Rasobs. But generally, I don't think it can work throughout the PSL.
You know, they say the taste is in the pudding. And I'm still saying, let's test them when they lose. and then we'll hear whether this thing is working or not. Because I'm trying, but you know what? There can always be new things. We cannot do things the way they have been done. There are some people who can come up with new things, they work. It's football, it's evolving. You understand? So yeah, maybe Sundowns will be teaching the world that this can work. But we have seen in other teams it doesn't work. Pirates was an example, critical example. Skukune, Dagama has vocally came out and said, this thing is not working. And then, you know, they say, if you want to know the true colors of a man, give him two things, give him power or money, then he'll show you exactly who he is, or who is she. Guys, thank you very much. It was nice. Today it was local as lekker. We're just analyzing the season. We never spoke about UEFA National League. I thought Tshepang, he was following that one. Maybe he would tell us something. I don't know. You want to tell us something, Shakes, about that one in the closing remarks? I saw France playing yesterday. Take note, France, I think they've lost their 3 games now in a row. But I can tell you, Mbappe is a star. You know, when I look at Mbappe, he reminds me of Thierry Henry. He's quick, he goes forward, he's determined, you know, and he's that type of a player. You just want people who can supply him with the balls, you know, and he's got skills, you know. Like I say, he reminds me of Thierry Henry. It's just that Thierry Henry came to the picture when he was older, because if you can look at the speed, Mbappe he's still very young. He's so quick, you know, like Metro Blitz, you know. So I don't know. Do you want to say something, Tshepang, about UEFA National League? So far, what's happening? Just wrap up. We are closing now. Today I didn't do what I love most, which is the message special. So yeah, what do you want to tell us about that? We're just doing local today. Tell us more. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, the nation, it allows us to actually see potential, you know. I'm seeing a lot of youngsters within these international teams that are coming in, you know. That's why I said it's a more of a friendly competition. But clubs, the national teams do allow, you know, the youngsters, they introduce the youngsters within their teams. I think this is a platform where it gives countries to actually bring in the youngsters and let the youngsters showcase themselves and maybe get them ready maybe for bigger competitions. Like the World Cup is coming now. So maybe the UEFA Nations League, the way I see it, it's a good platform for the youngsters to come in and actually maybe might confuse the coaches a bit and might actually would consider certain players to actually put them within the World Cup squads as well, just to prepare them. So it's a stage which I feel like it's preparing a lot of players for bigger competitions and for them to actually gel into the national teams. But it's a good tournament. A lot of players are shining, getting their form back. We saw Hazard playing also in the last week. He was back playing in the competition as well. It's great to have him back as well. Gareth Bale doing well actually for his country as well. France as well doing good. The youngsters that are coming in, and as you're talking about Mbappe, his maturity is very solid. You know, I think he matured at a very young age. Doing what he's doing now at his age, is actually incredible. You know, so he's doing well, doing quite well. He's on form. I guess it's his time. It's his peak time right now. So yeah, he's competing amongst the greatest, and yeah. But it's a good competition to watch at the end of the day. That's all I can say about it.
Shakes, what's your take? We've seen Gavi at Spanish League doing quite well. You know, I'd never believed in Enrique, but I see he's a good coach. He's a good coach. You know why I didn't like him? He was a little bit dogmatic, not allowing new ideas while he was still at Barcelona. Very rigid for me. So that is why I never liked him. But he has proved to be a very good coach. And I'm happy with him introducing youngsters like Gavi, the Spanish league, Gavi, the Spanish national team. And then we know Pedri. Pedri is going to be something else. This boy is going. We haven't seen the full blown of the youngster who's playing for Barcelona. Ansu Fati. Yeah. So what's your take? How do you see this World Cup sheet? Who do you think looks like a promising team? We don't see a lot of South Americans. What's happening? Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about Barcelona. I mean, Argentina. The good thing about the Argentina, the spirit of Argentina, you know, it's out of this world. So what's your take, Sheets, about the World Cup and what you see on the UEFA National League? Who have impressed you? What do you think? How the World Cup is gonna unfold, according to you?
Yeah, perhaps a whole lot of international teams have shown that they've got the pedigree, you know. We mentioned now the likes of Argentina, the likes of Brazil, the likes of France, the likes of Belgium, you know. There's a lot of quality. I mean, we've seen now in the nations, in this Nations League, you know, what France has been able to produce. The likes of Nkunku, you know, you've got your Benzema who's back in the national team. You've got your Kylian Mbappe. They are strong, but you can see that even though they are so strong, the likes of Croatia, Luka Modric yesterday was just a class show, you know, to say that. In fact, it was the first time they beat France ever, you know. So it was a good result for Croatia, and you can just see that the competition is very big, you know, within these nations, you know. Even though France have got all these good players, but you've got your Croatia who's competing and beating them, you know. And then you come to Spain, you've got your Gavi, as we've spoken about. You mean Gavi is like the darling of Spanish football right now, you know. Everybody just wants to see the boy doing well and what quality he possesses, you know, at such a young age. Is showing a lot of quality, and we're also looking forward to seeing the likes of Pedri, who's injured, I think, at the moment. You know, when he comes back, and your Ansu Fatis also, they come back to full fitness, we'll see a very, very, very strong Spanish team. You know, Spain has shown in this United Nations League that their brand of football is a quality brand of football, and they are winning. They are getting the results. You know, it shows that the tiki-taka, the Pep Guardiola way is winning. You know, when it comes to being on the pitch, you see teams like Germany, they are struggling to get the results. Team like France, you know, with all the quality they have, they are struggling to get the results. But Spain have just been going quietly with their business and winning their games.
Tshepang, I thought you'd come in. Seems as if
Yeah,
you forget.
I mean, Spain is doing well, doing very well. A lot of youngsters in that team. Your Gavis as well, Pedri. You know, imagine seeing Pedri, Gavi, Ansu, Ferran Torres. You know, all in one team, full in their full fitness. You know, fit and match fit. You know, Spain will be doing a lot of damage. You know. I think that's a squad. Hopefully, everyone comes back in full fitness, and then so that they can prepare everyone to go and challenge and play in the World Cup as well. That's a team that they need to take care of, and those players need to be taken care of as well. We hope that they'll be injury free, even coming into the new season, and so that they can be fit again, and so that they can carry the team and move forward with that squad as well.
What do you say about England? English? What do you say about Brazil? You know that Brazil, Neymar said they really want this World Cup. And Pele has sent a message Neymar that, remember Pele, the last time he was in hospital, he sent a message that tell Neymar we need a World Cup now. It's been a long time since we won the World Cup. So, and then the English, we see Harry Kane is ready to go, not Harry Kane only. And then what about the Italian? What's your take? Are they going to, bring us something in the World Cup? What's your take?
Yeah, with Italy,
All right.
Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup. But with England, the coach did complain last week that the problem is goals. They haven't gelled well this campaign. Something is wrong. They're just missing a spark. Something is just missing within the England squad. You are complaining about the goals with Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling as well, saying that those two are the key figures of the team, and if they don't score, and then it makes things difficult for other players to actually bring in the results because those two are the core of the team. So England are just going through something at the moment, but I'm sure they'll get it right. They've got a good squad, a lot of young players as well, and a lot of competition. I think England is the only team that has healthy competition when it comes to squad selection. That coach gets a headache on who to put in and who to select. When it's time for the national team to play their games. So they've got a number of players, but I think he'll get it right. Hopefully, hope he gets it right. But Brazil as well, they're doing well. They've been doing well even in their friendly competitions. They've been doing well. The squad looks good. But I did say Argentina looks pretty well, pretty good. They are one team which scares me. I feel like they can go all the way. They are on form team at the moment. Messi wants it more as well. As much as Pele is saying Brazil must bring it home, but it looks like Argentina wants it more. Messi wants it more. So let's just see how the World Cup unfolds when the time gets here.
I'm sure everybody wants it more. Not only Argentina and Messi. I think a lot of countries want it more. Sheikhs, what about Portugal? What's your take? How do you see them? We've seen them in the UEFA National League. So what's your take? What do you think? How is Portugal gonna fare in the upcoming months?
Yeah, Prasobri, it's quite fascinating. All these teams we're talking about Argentina, and you look at the quality within that team, forget about Messi, so much quality within that team, so much quality players. And then now we talk about Portugal. Now Portugal has got your Cristiano Ronaldo, it's got your Diego Jota, it's got your Bruno Fernandes, it's got your Bernardo Silva, it's got your who's the boy from Man City. The quality of players within these national teams is out of this world. So Portugal, you can't write them out. They need to blend as a team, but when you're talking about players, they've got the quality to go all the way as well and win it. So yeah, every country will believe that they've got the ability to win the World Cup when it comes to the likes of Argentina, Brazil, Portugal, Germany, France, obviously, who are the defending champions. So it's going to be a very interesting one to see who makes it at the end.
Do you believe in the coach of Portugal? Do you think he's the right man at the helm?
Yeah. I believe in continuity. He's been there for a long time. The players understand him. He understands the culture of the team. So I believe in what they are doing in Portugal. They don't really tamper with that coach. He's been there for a while. And I believe that, now he's got the right blend of players. For the first time, I really see those players at Portugal being players that can really do something, in terms of world football. The likes of your Bernardo Silva, players who play in the champ. All those players are quality players. So I think it's time now for Portugal as well to rise.
You know, when I look at Nkunku, I think he's something else. But I saw Mbappe is far ahead of him. There's still a lot of learning that has to happen with Nkunku. And then, the Germans have disappointed me because, you know, the Germans are the Germans, man. They always surprise, but don't rule them out for the World Cup. Anything can happen. Tshepang, guys, I don't know whether you want to talk about something. Uruguay, we haven't heard anything. What's happening? I don't know. South America, we don't see much of the games there. But nevertheless, guys, thank you very much. It was a lovely show, just throwing our net across the world. Started with South Africa. We spent too much time on our local shows, which is good because charity begins at home. Although, Sheikhs, I'm not happy. Today I didn't do a Messi special because there is no time. And I always wanted to remind you, Sheikhs, that he's the best. Sheikhs, bid the viewers farewell.
Thank you, Brasos, for having me on the show. And you know, I agree with you. Messi is the best. You know, he showed it again in the national team now, you know, scoring 5 goals alone. That just shows you the quality of the man. So, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more of him and Ronaldo as well. All right, thanks for having me on the show, Prasobs, and thanks, Tshepang, and thanks to our viewers.
And don't forget, your man scored 2, then Messi answered with 5. Tshepang, I wanted to remind you, you know, when I do the Messi special.
Prasobs, I'm not a Ronaldo man. You're going to give people the impression that I'm a Ronaldo man. No, I'm a support. I love Messi. I love Messi, Prasobs.
Yeah. Tshepang, your man, Tshepang, Ronaldo scored 2, and Messi answered with 5.
Yeah. But they're doing well. They're doing well. They're still doing well. But thanks to the viewers out there, and to you also, Mr. Shakes, and also you, Mr. Shabalala. Yeah, that was a great show. Just good luck to the teams that are playing the playoffs finals tomorrow. Swallows and Ducks. Let's just see who wins and who goes through. Who'll be back in the DSTV Premiership.
Sheikhs, I wanted to say, I said this to Tshepang last week. I said the kitchen, the way is so hot. You know, there's this program whereby they ask coaches, players, who's their favorite and all that, then they count who's leading in terms of those who support who. Part of the people who are asked is Ronaldo. He said, I'm the best. Messi's not even asked. and Messi will never even come to that statement to say, I'm the best. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Brasos.
Hi, everybody. My name is the Sobri Boys Walifatse from the Big R, or TBR Solution. One of the companies owned by TBR Solution is the Big R Financial Services, an authorized financial service provider. I'm sure you have noticed that the past few months or so, we've seen a lot of deaths, and those deaths are attributed to mental illness. Mental illness can be caused by anything, can be caused by stress, depression, and stress and depression can be caused by a number of things: lack of finances, or financial problem, or social problem, or marital problem. So they cause all those problems. We in the financial sector, we see it almost now and again because we work with various organizations like GPF, Independent Fund Organization. But while I'm still there, let me stress, we don't have a formal relationship with GPF, but we work with them because most of our people are from there. Now, working with those people, you know very well that people who are working for the government, they're expected to retire at the age of 60 and above, right? If you retire earlier than that, then you are being penalized by GPF. And sometimes people say, no, I need money. So what do? They resign They say, no, let the money go to my bank account. Once you do that, you are tax heavy. So you need to bear that in mind, okay? But now, let's say for argument's sake, you are 55 as we speak and above, and you are contemplating of either resigning or going on pension in the next 3 months or so, just drop us a WhatsApp so that we help you to expedite for your payment. Because according to the GPF rules and pension fund law, once a client or a member receive an SMS that they've received your forms, that means they have 60 days to complete the process. And mind you, the 60 days is a maximum. It doesn't mean it has to take 60 days. It's a maximum. Now, sometimes we see people that don't get their money for 2 to 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, even more, or a year or so. And then there, the problem could emanate either from the GPF side, employer side, a member himself. So what we do, we try to expedite that process by making sure that we understand the workings of GPF. If it's a member, we help him to do the right thing. The same with GPF, the same with employer organization. Now, remember, as I have already said, that with GPF, it's 60 and above. Now, and then we say if you're 55 or more, you can contact us. And another good element is this, with the fund that we are working with. There is a whole lot of flexibility. You can decide how much you earn. That's how flexible it is. And if, let's say, you pass on, you and your spouse, you can nominate anyone. You are not limited to your immediate family, like your biological children or an officially adopted children. Remember, even your children, they can benefit as long as they're 22 and below. But with us, it doesn't matter. They can be above 22, they can be your elders, or they will still benefit because you nominated them. And then we try by all means that when we take the money from GPF and invest with credible fund organization, we try by all means that you are least taxed, all right? And then, and even you are not punished because you are not taking the money, because you are taking to another fund. So which means an independent and credible fund. So it means that there's no need to tax you more. So those are some of the advantages that are there. So you need to bear that in mind. And then if you want to know more, just drop us a WhatsApp on our WhatsApp number. Then we'll call you back. You don't have to call us. We'll call you back and see how can we expedite it. I thank you.